Listen very, very carefully. You are the boss, the so-called CEO of the German organization Toad. Your organization is a construction firm and you are specialized in building bunkers, uh, producing mines and fabricating cannons. So you know everything about defense mechanisms. And since the war, you have a good job because you have to produce a lot of these materials for the German army. So, in a way, you are a happy man and you're making good money and you are a direct advisor of the German army. Since the annexation of France and the declaration of war by the Americans, um, the Führer of your country, Adolf Hitler, is afraid for a invasion. Somewhere in Europe, he expects an invasion by the Allies, the British and American armies. So he wants to protect himself and he suggests a fortified wall along the coast of West Europe, which is tremendous. And he asks you to advise him where to start. So you have to give him, or the German army, all the field marshals, you have to give them advice where to start, or the yellow area, the green area, or the red area. There are reasons to start at the yellow area. That is part of Norway. This is the Norway coast, and Norway is part of Scandinavia, and there are a lot of iron mines, and the German army use a lot of these resources for the construction of German tanks and airplanes, and therefore this area is tremendous important for Germany. But Norway is always also important because of the corridor. The Allies exchange a lot of fuel and weapons and guns with the Soviet Union. And to fortify this area makes it more difficult for them to pass this corridor. These are the reasons to start the fortification in the yellow area. But there are also reasons why it could be postponed a little bit more. Because Norway has a lot of natural advantages. Norway knows a lot of high cliffs and rough seas and cold waters, which makes it difficult to attack this country. And it is a peninsula, so it doesn't really connect to Germany. And so you could say it is not really the first option to start with. The green area along the coast is from the Netherlands, Belgium and a part of France, and it's called the Low Countries, and that means that there are no mountains and it's quite easy to go straight on to Germany via this coastline. So that could be a favorite spot for the Allies to enter Europe, and therefore it should be fortified. But also the fact that the British Islands are so close to this coast could be in favor for the Allies to transport armies and troops very easily to the continent. And a third reason to make this very strong coast for the Germans is the fact that there is a very important industrial area in the heart of Germany, and if the Allies are able to go straight on to Germany, this is really a threat for the Germans. On the other hand, there are reasons to postpone this fortification of this coastline, because there is a very good infrastructure in this area. So if there would be an invasion, the Germans are able to mobilize and transport troops from one side to the other. And on the other hand, there are also a lot of rivers and bridges which they could easily destroy, so that would make it very difficult for the Allies to continue their march to Germany. So that are the reasons why this area shouldn't be fortified as much more, because there are other opportunities to make it very difficult for the Allies. Then we arrive at the red area in the south, And this area is known by some very important harbors which are used for the war with Africa, the northern part of Africa. And so Germany wouldn't like to lose these strategic positions. But there is also something in Rome. Rome was prone to a naval invasion, so as ex of Europe, together with Germany, the Germans would like to keep Italy into the war as a good defense, so it would be helpful to create a strong fortification. But there are also reasons to postpone this fortification, because the Germans could also ask the Italians to fortify the south side by themselves instead of doing it all by the Germans. And southern Europe was not very reachable for the Allies, because there is the Strait of Gibraltar, which is very difficult to pass. So the question is if it is really necessary to create a very strong fortress coastline. Now, there are reasons to start with yellow, green or red immediately, or to postpone. The German army, one of the commanders, Rommel, asks you to come with an advice because they will follow your instructions to start on the yellow area, the green area or the red area. You have to choose one. And he speaks to you soon. Good luck.